would share a few more ways of how we save money. The first thing is to pay attention to things. Just because they're on sale doesn't mean they're cheaper. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the viral videos with Black Friday when I think the store was Target. They were moving the tag and the price was literally the same. So it doesn't mean that it's cheaper. And also, I've been to the store and they've had things like 1 cent cheaper. So it's not really that much of a difference. I have a cheat sheet down here to help me hopefully remember everything, so we're going to try and get all that. The next thing is to have a price book, and this may take a little bit of time and effort to do this, and for us, we shop the circulars or the ads, and it may take a little bit of time because there are certain things that they put on sale like maybe every 6 months or so, or maybe even every year. So this may take a little bit of time to get that sorted. The next thing is to shop the sales and the circulars, and a lot of times they will put what they call their loss leaders, and they put those on the front of the page, like right up front in really big pictures. But just because they're like that doesn't always mean that that is the best deal or it's a really good sale. Also, there are some things that are really tiny in the rest of the ads that are really good deals as well. Okay, and another thing to do is to meal plan based off of the sale. And you sometimes have to be versatile with this because sometimes it may only be chicken that's on sale, and the next week it may be pork or something like that. And it really helps to have a good list of recipes that you can make with all these different things. That way you can take full advantage of it and save as much money as possible. The next thing is to be careful with buying clearance things, especially meats. A lot of these things can be expired, and if it doesn't look right, don't buy it. So you really have to be careful, especially with meats. And also, if y'all have never had food poisoning, y'all would understand. Wouldn't understand, because if you've had food poisoning, there's no way that you're gonna buy anything that's gonna be like that. So another thing to take into consideration is the gas and the time involved. I know there's been several times that we've looked at the ads and you may save a few dollars, but for us, we're like 30 minutes away from everything, and it was not worth the gas money to go to town for that. And also time. I know there's some people that if there's like a fast food restaurant that has something for free or highly discounted, they will wait for hours. And for me, that, unless if it is like insanely good, that is not worth it, especially if it's just like $1 or $2 to wait for hours. So just keep that in mind to see whether that's something that's actually worth it. Next up, is a good investment is to buy a grinder. We have a food grinder that is on our KitchenAid mixer, but we have found at auctions little freestanding grinders, and I think you can buy them for around $50, and they are a really good investment. You can buy these meats that you find on sale in the ads, and you can grind them yourself. And another benefit of not only being cheaper whenever you grind it yourself is whenever you're grinding your meat fresh like that, you have less chance of having salmonella and E. coli, so it is a lot safer. So what we do is we just have our meat and thaw it out and grind it fresh that night. We don't like grind it and then freeze it, and that is a lot safer that way. The next thing is to make your food homemade. This is so much cheaper, especially if you're buying like baked goods and things like that, even buns and desserts especially. That is so much cheaper to make homemade. And you also know the ingredients that are going in there. You don't have any of the bad preservatives and things like that. Let's see, what else? Also, I don't know if y'all have paid any attention, but a quick YouTube search and you can find so much. There have been so many recalls recently on foods, even things like granola bars, which is so crazy. So there is one person that we watch, their channel name is Cooking at Pam's Place, and there have been so many recalls recently that she's had to make videos sometimes daily because there have been so many recalls. So it is really crazy, and to me it's a lot safer just to make it at home and you don't have to worry so much about those things. Next up is a good thing to do is to grow your food. Now some things aren't necessarily the cheapest thing to grow, but there are certain high value crops that are totally worth it. Like lettuce, for example. A bag of lettuce is really expensive, especially if you buy like the special spring mixes or those types of things. And you can literally go to the Dollar General and buy different packages of lettuce. My personal favorite is the black seeded Simpson, and other family members really like the freckled brand or freckled seeds. And some other, I was trying to remember what it is, like freckled trout or something like that is something what it's called. Anyways, you can buy that, a little bit of soil and a rectangular pot, and you can grow so much lettuce in that. It would just cost just a little bit, probably under $10 to do that, and you will have enough of seeds for several years, and you could get so much lettuce off of that. So it is a really, really good thing to do. Next up is if you go to like Starbucks or something like that, it is so much cheaper to make your coffee at home, and it's a lot of fun to just experiment with different flavors and things like that. And whenever you start cooking at home, you learn how to make things and make them most of the time better than what you can buy in the stores or restaurants. So it is a really great feeling to be able to do that. Another thing is if you buy soda or pop or something like that, it would be a really good idea to try and cut back on that. It's also healthier to do that. But another option is to make tea. It is really cheap to make and is also healthier. I just recently figured out how to make the Milo's tea, so I'll leave a link to that in the description too if y'all would like to check that out. Let's see. Another good thing to do would be to bring your lunch to work. It is really, really expensive to eat fast food. It is crazy how expensive it has gotten. And not only is it easier because you just have it there and don't have to leave, and you can use your leftovers, which is, some people throw them away, and you could just use your leftovers and basically have a free meal. So that is really good to do. Another thing to do is to find fast and easy recipes that are just as fast to make as if it was to go to get fast food. So there are some things like tacos or spaghetti or things like that that are super simple and fast, and you can even evolve and make different recipes that are just as fast as going to get fast food, especially for us because we're like 30 minutes out, plus you have to wait for them to cook it and everything. So it is so much faster just to make it at home and a whole lot cheaper. Next up, I forgot to get this, but the next thing that we do is we buy bar soap instead of using body wash or the little liquid hand soaps. We just use a bar soap. Our favorite is just the ivory soap. You can get a big, I think, 10-pack of it or something for about $7, and that is so much cheaper. That will last us well over a month, and we're using it for hand soap and body wash and all of that. So another good thing to have with your bar soap, if you are using that, is to use what's called a soap saver. Thank you so much. They went and got it for me. They're so good to me. So, okay, you can use a soap saver, and we get these at the Dollar Tree. They sell them in a 2-pack. And they help the soap to where it's not sitting in the water and basically washing away. And that really has made a big difference as well. Another thing that we do is we use washcloths instead of the loofah sponges. That is a lot cheaper, and I think it's a lot more sanitary because you're just washing it instead of using it and not washing it. Another thing, if you garden, you can also grow loofah sponges. They are a beautiful plant and have the most beautiful flowers that bees love, and we grew that and they produce so much, but we weren't really the biggest fan of the loofah sponges themselves, so we just use washcloths. And another thing, whenever I wash dishes, I don't use sponges. I just use washcloths as well, my old washcloths, and that works really, really good. And it really does a really good job with getting the grease off. I don't know if y'all have trouble with sponges. I always did with getting the grease. The washcloths work so much better. Okay, another thing is to fix things instead of buying them new. So try and fix it. There are so many videos nowadays on YouTube that can show you how to fix just about anything and everything. And as long as you have just like a basic little toolkit, if you're a homeowner, this is a really good thing to have. Just a little basic set of tools. you can fix quite a bit of things. Now sometimes the parts are more expensive than it's worth, but not always, and it's really a good thing to do. Another thing, I don't know why this works, but another thing, I'm sure y'all have seen the videos of people with their TVs whenever they don't work and they smack them. Why this works, I don't know. I am not telling y'all to do that, but I just think it's hilarious that it actually works sometimes. Okay, next up, let's see. Another good thing to do would be to unsubscribe from subscription services, especially ones that you aren't using, or sometimes you can just forget about them. That is another good thing to do. And what we do is, especially with like the streaming services, we wait until the shows that we want to watch have came out, or there's actually something worth getting it for. So we will do that, and as soon as it's done, we are sure to cancel it. That's a really big thing. Be sure and cancel it. And then another thing you can do if you do the streaming services, just to keep it nice and fresh, is just to subscribe to one streaming service 1 month, cancel that, and switch to a different place and do that for another month. And it kind of keeps things fresh, and don't feel like you only have the same things, and you're kind of saving money too, because you're not have like 3 or 4 subscription services at once. Okay, another thing to do Another good thing is to just use YouTube or just online in general. There are so many free entertainment shows and just information period out there, so you can even get away without a streaming service sometimes. Okay, also, I don't know about y'all, but the YouTube algorithm isn't the best at finding these channels, so sometimes you have to dig, but there are certain channels that you find and they are just gems. So they are really, really good channels out there. You just have to do a little bit of search to find them. Okay, another thing that is really good that saves so much money is to shop secondhand. We have literally found everything secondhand, starting from really big purchases like our home. We have found exercise machines and tools and electronics, and I found so many gardening things. Even the wood to make our raised beds, we got that secondhand. Other things is like home decor, and that's really cool too, because it's not just the same thing that everybody has. And we found furniture and appliances, and I mean, you name it, we found it, and you can too. And we have found a lot better luck with going to auctions and yard sales and estate sales versus Facebook Marketplace. For some reason, where we're at, that is not that good, but we have done really good with those other places. But Facebook Marketplace is a really good place to go to find the auctions and yard sales, so that it does have its place, so it is good to have. Let's see, what else? With electricity, there are some ways that you can save on electricity, and a big one is to unplug your electronics that you're not using, or you can get the power strips and you can just push the switch to get it to shut everything off, and do that whenever you leave or you go to bed. That's another great way. It's really crazy how much that stuff draws just in the background that you don't even realize. Next up is to keep the lights off in the rooms that you're not in. I know that's so simple, but it really does make a big difference. Also, your thermostat, to keep that on low to where it's not, I guess, for in the winter time, you want to keep it a little lower, so you're not spending as much on electricity. And you can run fans in the summertime. That's a good thing to do. Or in the winter time, just cover up with blankets. And especially do this is really good to do if you're leaving, or at nighttime as well when you're in bed. So other things to do, oh yes, another thing with the electricity, I love to bake, so I do that a lot, and we used to use our bake oven for that, but it created so much heat, especially in the summertime, so we switched to an air fryer, and we use that exclusively, and I do a lot of baking, and we really love it, and it draws so much less electricity. Let's see, what else? Another thing to think of is to wait before you purchase something. I know it's hard. Sometimes you see something, especially with influencers, and you want to buy something, but I found that it's a lot better to just put it in your cart and wait at least 24 hours before you purchase it. And a lot of times you figure out and kind of reduce that need of wanting to get it, and you don't need to buy it. So you can save a lot of money by doing that. Basically just reconsider on that. Another thing with, if you do make those purchases and things don't work out, they don't fit, or it just for some reason doesn't work, take them back or send them back. I know it seems like such a simple thing and kind of a hassle sometimes, but if you do that several times a year, that really does add up. Another thing is with big purchases, like if you have a stove or a refrigerator or washer and dryer, those are best to really do your research. Sometimes you can find sales throughout the year, but really do your research, and not just reading the reviews on the items at the store, to like look further, like watch YouTube videos of it and things like that, because there there are some that are not the best. I have family members that have bought these things and they either die right when the warranty goes off, or don't even make it to that point, and they have to replace big parts on them, or can't even replace them at all, or replace the part, and it's a big hassle. So our appliances that we have are probably 20 plus years old, and they're still trucking and doing good. So I would suggest to try and find a nice older model. That's worked really good for us. Let's see. I guess that's everything that I can think of. Maybe I can think of more and we can make another video, but I thank y'all all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye!